Hello everyone, and we have another MacBook Pro that is now running Windows. The reason is the user needed to watch SkyGo, which is an application for Windows and Mac, but it's limited to macOS Catalina, I think, at least. So this machine is a 2008, late 2008 MacBook Pro. SkyGo drops support for iSight, which is the last macOS that this 2008 machine can run without glitches. Officially, this machine is limited to El Capitan, but you can easily get High Sierra working, and the drivers are still perfectly working. So the GPU is perfectly capable of running High Sierra in native mode. Therefore, High Sierra was perfectly stable and everything, but they dropped support. So we had to go Windows. And I like going Windows on this kind of machine because on Windows you have access to throttle stop, and throttle stop allows you to undervolt the CPU, and then you don't need to repaste it. Now, Core 2 Duo machines are not running super hot, even if you don't repaste them. The main reason I think is that the chipset has the memory controller inside of it, so the CPU and memory controller are separate, and nothing in the computer generated that much heat. So thermal throttling is limited in these machines, even if you never repaste them. But still, it's nice to have the machine a little bit colder, and the fan is not spinning yet. It will start to spin eventually, but it's nice to have it silent at the moment. And it's summer here, it's very hot, it's been a super hot day here in Milan. The watching experience, I will get to that later. First things first, the nicest thing that I recently found out is a very nice driver for the touchpad. I found it on GitHub, and here it is. I will provide the link in the description of the video. So you have a working implementation for multi-track gestures. I'm not very used to like Windows multi-gesture, but they work perfectly fine. As always with the macOS, MacBook trackpads, the implementation is very good. And then you have the drivers for the audio, which is this very old R2.02 for Realtek. It is the only driver that works for audio output. Then you have the iSight driver for the webcam, which is working. It doesn't really, it's not bad. I don't see that much of a difference between the 2008 and 2017 cameras on MacBooks. Yeah, and then another very nice thing is that you can actually get 2K output support. Let me find the cable and turn on the screen now. And here we go. Mini DisplayPort output to DisplayPort. And this should work for 2K. Let me see. And there we go. My display here is a little bit flickery because I'm using a broken display as my testing display. But here we are at full resolution. Where is that? Yeah, here we are. 2K, and it's running at 60 Hz. So very, very nice to see indeed. And so yeah, the machine is working very, very nice. And let's go to SkyGo. And I don't really know what to watch. I don't watch this kind of stuff, but let me load a video, just a random thing, and get full screen. Oh. There's even when you pay, you actually have to go through this. Wow. Well, I don't know why, but all the TV series soundtracks sound the same to me. So it's a bit laggy. It's not 100% like smooth, but it's enjoyable. And we are 2K now, and I think it's even a little bit too much of a resolution here. Like, I would be fine with lower quality, and I think that I had it running in full HD before, but on the internal screen it's perfectly fine. because the resolution is lower. And yeah, it's it's working. It's fine. And the fan is kicking, but it's not terrible. Of course, the internal speakers are awful. But yeah, that's experience to get. Let's get back to desktop, to the internal computer display. And peak temperature was 83 degrees. Now, for some reason, even though I set high performance profile, and it should always be stuck at 9 multiplier, the CPU still floats between 6 and 9. The voltage is, of course, much lower than the default one. It's now set at 1.02, while I think default is 1.2, something like that ballpark. Yeah, I guess that's mostly what I needed to see to show you. Let's see how much it takes for YouTube to load. I have another video coming up for a similar era Asus computer, and what I found out is that actually getting a better Wi-Fi card has a huge impact on the performance. I thought that this kind of machine would be limited by the processing power, and therefore a new Wi-Fi card wouldn't make a big deal, but it actually does for some reason. Another thing is that I was not able to find a proper driver for the keyboard backlight and the function keys. So I'm pretty sure that there's something out there, but I was not able to find it.
And it's more of a reminder to my...
So we are watching YouTube at 720p, and it is not perfect, but definitely usable. Again, so that's my definition for the computer. It's definitely usable, not perfect. I guess that's all. So you can do that. And oh yeah, the last thing that I needed to mention is that to install the Windows in legacy mode, I had to use another computer. So I actually had to start the installation on another computer, and when it gets to the reboot part, I just shut down the computer and take the drive out of the other machine and put it back in the MacBook, because the MacBook would not start the USB installer for Windows, either UEFI or legacy mode. Neither would work, and so I had to use another computer, and I installed everything in legacy mode. Well, yeah, that was a little bit of a bummer. So you have to get another computer, and yeah, my experience was that I needed to use legacy mode to have the install working, because I also tried to do UEFI install, but a UEFI install would not boot, even with the trick of installing it on another computer. Like, it would just freeze upon loading on the MacBook. That's all. Ciao ciao.